Hi, I'm Matthew Previtt. I'm a licensed CPA here in the state of Massachusetts. My firm represents taxpayers before the IRS and state taxing authorities. I've been in the tax field about 27 years, and almost the last 17 years I've been representing taxpayers exclusively before the IRS and the state taxing authorities. I'm here today to answer some of the top questions that we get from prospects about IRS and state tax problems. A very common question prospects ask me is, I can pay the taxes, but the penalties and interest are killing me. It doubled or tripled the tax bill. Is there anything that we can do about the penalties and interest? Sometimes there is. It's basically called the penalty abatement. You can request abatement of the penalties from the IRS or the state, and if you can show reasonable cause, which is basically something reasonable, a reasonable excuse as to why you couldn't file on time, why you couldn't pay on time, the government may very well abate or remove those penalties. One thing to mention is that the statutory interest on the tax, that never goes away unless you can show the government caused the delay. But if you get rid of the penalties for filing late or paying late, the interest on those penalties will disappear. Reasonable cause can be all sorts of things. The Internal Revenue Code lists a very short list. It's not all inclusive, but illness of the taxpayer, spouse, or a child or family member, death of the taxpayer, spouse, or family member, acts of God. Hurricane Katrina comes to mind. That gave the people of New Orleans probably several months or more to get out of penalties because half the businesses were underwater. So again, it can be almost anything, but if you can demonstrate reasonable cause, then you may be able to get out of the penalties and the interest on those penalties and cut your tax bill maybe by a third or half and sometimes more. If you have any specific or detailed questions about your particular tax situation, please call my office at 508-655-1500 or visit our website at taxproblemsrs.com.